Hi there, everyone. Here's some of what's heading your way tonight. Your news at 9. Investigators ask for help identifying someone killed by traffic on I-44. Plus,
the Joplin metro area could lose its designation as a metropolitan area if a change at the federal level goes through. I'm Zach Dodge with the story.
Doug Eddy has weather. Jacob Leonard has sports. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. A Galena, Kansas man who admits to pulling a knife in a road rage case gets a suspended sentence. In February of last year, Robbie McCumber got into a dispute over a parking spot at the Joplin courthouse and eventually pulled out a knife. A local attorney who witnessed the incident then held McCumber at gunpoint until courthouse security arrested him. Through a plea deal, McCumber received a 4-year suspended sentence and 5 years supervised probation. The Lawrence County, Missouri Sheriff's Office is asking for help identifying the body of a woman hit and killed by oncoming traffic on I-44. Sheriff's Office released photos of tattoos on the woman's body, hoping someone might recognize them to help identify her. Authorities say the woman was killed on March 6th when she ran into traffic and was hit by a vehicle. Authorities also say she was 18 to 24 years old and between 5'2" and 5'4" tall, with blonde or strawberry hair and gray or blue eyes. Anyone with information is being asked to contact the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office. Joplin is at risk of losing its status as Metropolitan. A federal proposal would designate Joplin as a micropolitan instead of metropolitan. Currently in the U.S., there are 384 metropolitans and 543 micropolitans. Keeping up yet? A metropolitan is an urban cluster with an anchor city of 50,000 or more people. A micropolitan's anchor city has a population of 10,000 or more. Now, the federal proposal would increase the threshold to be considered a metropolitan to 100,000 plus people. So what would a different designation actually change in Joplin? KOAM's Zach Dodge spoke with city leaders to find out.
144 cities across the country could lose their status as metropolitan areas. That includes Joplin.
Instead, it would downgrade, if you will, to a micro-statistical area.
And would likely be that way for a while, since Joplin has a population just over 50,000, much lower than the 100,000 population that would be required for a metro area. The agency making the change says the designation shouldn't be tied to federal funding, but it oftentimes is. Chamber President Toby Teeter says, for that reason, it could impact funding coming to the city government and area nonprofits.
Many federal grants tie to being within a metropolitan statistical area. So we do have some concerns there about our ability to attract federal dollars into our community. And those programs run the gamut.
Now, Teeter was speaking more generally, so we reached out to the city, which referred us back to Teeter, who says the specific implications it could have for Joplin City programs, like transportation and housing, aren't currently clear as they continue to learn what may happen. Many nonprofits we reached out to are in the same boat.
We don't know yet.
Lafayette House receives federal funding, but most generally it gets funneled through the state for specific programs. So there are a lot of unknowns.
It might go both ways. We might have some different opportunities if Joplin were considered a smaller area. But we're hopeful that it wouldn't have an impact on some of our existing funding, which is so critical to us.
In Joplin, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
There is an open comment period for the designation change, but it ends pretty soon on March 20th. We have a link to where you can leave a comment attached to this story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Monday, the state of Missouri will move to the next phase of its COVID-19 distribution plan. The next phase includes those who are already eligible. It brings in workers in communication fields, energy services, food production, elected officials, IT employees, transportation service employees, and workers in water or wastewater services. 2 COVID vaccination clinics are planned at Downstream Casino. The first is on March 17th from 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. Open only to all Quapaw Nation tribal members, tribal employees, casino workers, and family members. Then, on April 13th from 9 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, everyone living here in the 4 states and surrounding areas, for that matter, can get a vaccine. The clinic is going to be at the Pavilion at Downstream Casino. No appointments are needed, but vaccines are limited, so keep that in mind. Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas is offering on-site COVID-19 vaccination clinics for businesses with more than 20 employees. The center recommends businesses set up a break room or open area that can be used as a vaccination site. They also say vaccine recipients should have a 15-minute observation period after the dose before returning to work.
We are offering those businesses that have 20 or more participants will go to the business and provide the vaccine on site. Those businesses with less than 25, if they want to send us their employees and their phone number, we will call the employees and get them scheduled at one of our clinics individually.
Eligible businesses that want to set up a clinic should contact the health center. New cases of COVID-19 are slowing down as vaccinations are speeding up. And although masks are still mandatory in many states, more are starting to restore many activities that were kept on hold for the greater part of the year. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork has reactions as folks are beginning to embrace the idea of getting back to a pre-COVID world.
People are ready to go out and start living their normal lives.
Across the country, signs that life may be returning to normal are springing up as more states announce the reopenings of stadiums, schools, and theme parks. In Illinois, the Windy City is breathing new hope into the hearts and souls of sports fans. Chicago's mayor announcing the home stadiums of the Cubs and White Sox will soon welcome back spectators. Starting opening day, both fields will be allowed to operate at 20% capacity. To some, this is about much more than just baseball.
Baseball is not a must on our dailies, but it's something that everybody enjoys, and it brings not only friends and family together, but communities together.
Others are sharing in the excitement, even as fears of the pandemic are still present.
Everything is a little fast that we're going back to normal, but it's also exciting.
Meanwhile, California has announced outdoor concerts, sporting events, and other activities are slated to begin April 1st. But some local high schools aren't waiting to reopen.
We're going to have about a third of our student population on campus in the morning and then another third in the afternoon.
For the first time this year, thousands of students in Ventura County are officially back to in-person learning this week.
We're just super excited to be here.
And down in Florida, Disney World is also teeming with activity. The company announcing every single park is booked to capacity next week. In Washington, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
By the way, go Cubs, boo to the South Side. A few, you know what I mean. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor one of our four state heroes. Joseph Williams served in the U.S. Army from 1945 to 1947. Native of Webb City, Missouri, Williams was stationed in the Asiatic Pacific and Japan during World War II. We are proud to thank Private First Class Joseph Williams. He's tonight's four-state hero. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later, the East Newton Patriots aiming to keep their season alive and move on to the Final Four. Going to have that story in sports.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a wet day for us today. Also quite a bit cooler than what we've seen all week long with the showers and thunderstorms we had last night. Some severe weather across the region, mainly gusty winds and some small hail. But a lot of areas have picked up some decent amounts of rain. You can see our rain stats so far for us today. Just shy of an inch for the year, a little over 5 average. We're right about where we should be for this time of the year. Great shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. And we still have these random light showers across the region. The temperatures have been really fairly steady. We're mainly sitting into the upper 40s. I think we're going to hold steady. We may even rise a degree or two as we go through the overnight hours tonight. But we do have these kind of northeasterly winds, which have been pushing in all day long. They're going to kind of shift out of the east, a little bit out of the southeast for us during the daytime hours tomorrow. Currently outside, sitting at 48. East winds are light at about 3 miles per hour, and you can see the bands of showers and a few thunder showers that have been rolling through over the evening hours. Most of these have been confined along and south of Interstate 44. Now, none of these are strong, none of these are severe, but we are getting at least a few thunder showers out there. Now, where you see the yellows, that's showing us some moderate rain. So you can see across Ottawa County, just south of Miami, near Seneca, just south of Neosho, also just south of Carthage, and then heading east over toward Mount Vernon. But everybody else is mainly dry, but these are going to increase during the overnight hours for us tonight. See the showers starting to pick up in central and western parts of Texas. That's the next wave that's going to head toward us as this whole energy really works toward us over the next few days. Let's go through time for us tonight. Scattered showers, still fairly light over the next several hours into the early morning hours. And then late tonight by morning, these will start to increase in northeastern Oklahoma. And then a pretty big batch is going to push in throughout the morning hours. This will give us scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms. I don't think anything too strong or severe, but we are going to have some scattered thunderstorms. Through the afternoon, we continue to get periods of showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures, though, a little bit warmer than what we saw today. Starting at 50, 54 by noon, high temp of 56 degrees. Tomorrow night, periods of showers and thunderstorms again into Saturday morning. Then I think Saturday afternoon looks okay. We're going to have a lot of clouds, but we should dry out. But look at the storms increasing out to our west once again. So these are going to roll in after midnight on Saturday night into Sunday morning. Some of those could be strong, maybe low-grade severe. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. All right, rain picking up, especially late tonight and periods throughout the daytime hours tomorrow. In fact, rainfall amounts just over the next day, a lot of areas are going to get 1, maybe up to 2 inches. And then if you add Saturday into that, a lot of areas 2, 3, maybe upwards to 4 inches of rain. So that's why we have a flash flood watch in effect throughout the weekend. 62s over the weekend, thunderstorms, some leftover showers on Monday, thunderstorms right back in by Wednesday. Jordan?
All right, Doug, thank you. Coming up, the possibility of an additional murder charge in the George Floyd court case. It's the third day of jury selection in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Jurors will now be considering a third murder charge. Fox News' Anna Eliopoulos has more.
The court is going to grant the motion to reinstate.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin facing an additional murder charge in the death of George Floyd. A Hennepin County judge reinstating a count of third-degree murder on Thursday. The decision coming after Minnesota's Supreme Court denied an appeal from Chauvin on Wednesday. The judge initially rejected the charge, but an appellate court ruling in a separate case established new grounds for it.
When intent is directed at a single person, this is a legal principle that they have established now as precedent, then third degree may apply. Single acts directed at a single person fall within the gambit of murder in the third degree.
Chauvin, who was seen kneeling on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes last May, pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. Jury selection for the trial continuing for the third day on Thursday with the selection of a sixth juror, a man who works as a truck driver.
Juror number 36, you will be on this jury.
At least 3 weeks have been set aside for prosecutors and defense attorneys to question potential jurors to complete a jury of 12 plus 2 alternates. Either side can ask the court to dismiss a potential juror if they believe the person cannot be impartial.
Are you willing or are you able to set what you know about this case now aside and judge this case based upon the evidence in court?
Opening arguments in the trial of George Floyd's death are expected to begin March 29th. Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
All right, just ahead, different weather in different parts of the country causing the same type of headaches.
Mudslides and flooding leave communities digging out and cleaning up. I'm Marianne Rafferty in Los Angeles with a look at the damage from severe weather coming up.
Parts of California and Hawaii are recovering from powerful flooding caused by severe weather. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty is in Southern Cal with a look at all the impacts.
Folks are facing a lengthy cleanup after torrential downpours triggered dangerous mudslides near Los Angeles. Vast amounts of rain pounded soil weakened by previous wildfires, unleashing a thick stream of mud and rocks.
It was pretty loud, sounded like a thunderstorm, and smashed the fence over there and came in between the houses.
The mudslides coated cars, damaged property, and left streets buried under several feet of debris. Many hope heavy machinery and an army of shovels will make light work of the heavy mess.
I'm going to stay and see what happens because we got another rain coming in, and so I just want to be here to see how safe the house is going to be.
Further north, the rain turned into snow as communities along the California-Nevada border braced for several inches. Authorities are urging folks to stay off the roads. And in Hawaii, days of heavy rain are causing rivers to rise. The severe flooding has prompted mandatory evacuations for several towns. Those caught in the raging waters say it washed everything away.
I started panicking, my dad started panicking. We just was watching everything kind of go by, and it lifted up my truck, and my truck went down the river as well. And then the dog actually survived. It got swept away, but it came up.
Hawaiian officials warn the flooding could trigger landslides over the coming days. And California isn't in the clear just yet either, as forecasters predict more rain into Friday. In Los Angeles, Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
After this break, the Smithsonian's collecting items connected to the first doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered right here in the United States. The Smithsonian's National Museum of American History is collecting items connected to the first known doses of the COVID-19 vaccine in the U.S. An intensive care nurse in New York named Sandra Lindsay was the first person known to receive the vaccine in the United States. Her employer, Northwell Health, donated Lindsay's vaccination record card, scrubs, and hospital identification badge to the Smithsonian for the museum exhibit. Northwell also donated the empty Pfizer-BioNTech vial that contained the first doses of approved vaccine dispensed in the United States. Lots of history going on during this time, right? But really, there's history every day. That's what's cool. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming your way.
It's been 1 year since the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. Freeman Hospital's frontline workers reflect on what they've seen over the past year. Coming up.
Also, how a generous donation is going to help someone in need right here in the 4 states. 1 year ago today, as many of us know, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke with the frontline workers at Joplin's Freeman Hospital about what they've learned fighting the coronavirus over the last year.
Freeman Hospital has been a 4-state leader in the fight against the coronavirus ever since it was officially declared a pandemic by the WHO a year ago. And its staff has learned a lot about the virus and its victims during the last 12 months.
Resiliency of the nursing staff, the medical staff, the patients, just everything that everybody has went through, they've always came out on the other side with a positive attitude.
The hospital's director of COVID services says he is proud of how the Freeman team grew and adapted as they dealt with a deadly disease with a lot of unknowns.
It really was a lot like trying to fly a 757 that you're building at the exact same time. So a year into this, we've expanded out our resources quite a bit. We have 2 completely stocked units that are available for high-level ICU care level patients.
And the hospital's director of service excellence and pastoral care says the virus knowledge acquired over the past year has helped immensely when talking to scared patients and families who are looking for answers.
A year ago today, none of us knew anything. We had so many more questions and 0 answers. Now over the last year we have more answers, we have more historical knowledge, and so we can say, we've seen patients in this situation over the last year, and here's, how we faced it.
In Joplin, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
Freeman staff say that while they hate seeing their patients suffering from the coronavirus, there's a special thrill that comes with seeing them recover and reunite with loved ones. Someone who needed a vehicle is getting one thanks to a donation to Watered Gardens Ministries in Joplin. A person donated a van, and a mom at the Washington Family Hope Center is receiving that gift.
It feels good to be an example to my kids, to just let them know that things do matter, because we could think that, little things don't matter, but really that's a big thing, and it does matter, all the way up from the big things to the small things.
Watered Gardens Ministries thanks everyone for their donations over the years, big donations or small donations. Demolition stages are planned for the Pennsylvania Avenue Bridge in Joplin. It's located between 5th and 7th Streets. It was closed about 2 years ago when a state inspection found it to be structurally unsound. City officials say this week they put out a call for bids for engineering services to prepare for the bridge's eventual demolition. Weather is warming up for the winter, but that brutal cold that we all went through damaged the butterfly mural at Mercy Park in Joplin. Workers found the damage Tuesday. 2 tiles came loose and broke. Well, the group that oversaw the mural's installation initially will restore it. All of the tiles are being removed. The wall will be treated with a moisture barrier, and the tiles will go back on. The mural was installed at Mercy Park to mark the 5th anniversary of the 2011 Joplin tornado. A sixth accuser has come forward alleging sexual misconduct by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. And to this point, they are the most egregious of the allegations, prompting even more lawmakers to act. Fox News correspondent Brian Yanis is in New York with this story, and we have to warn you, some of the details in the allegations are graphic.
The calls for embattled New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to step down are growing louder.
I am standing with many of my colleagues asking the governor to resign.
More than 100 state lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are pushing for Cuomo's resignation. Of those, nearly 4 dozen are calling for his impeachment in the wake of multiple allegations of sexual misconduct against the governor, including the most recent claim that he groped an aide last year. This prompting more than 55 New York State Democratic lawmakers to release a letter on Thursday, reading in part, "The governor needs to put the people of New York first. We have a lieutenant governor who can step in and lead for the remainder of the term, and this is what is best for New Yorkers in this critical time. It is time for Governor Cuomo to resign." And joining the growing chorus, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio.
It is disgusting to me, and he can no longer serve as governor. It's as simple as that.
These latest calls come after the Times Union of Albany reported a female executive chamber staff member alleges the governor, quote, aggressively groped her late last year at the executive mansion in Albany. Quote, they were alone in Cuomo's private residence on the 2nd floor when he closed the door and allegedly reached under her blouse and began to fondle her. The New York Times is reporting Albany police received a report of the alleged incident between Cuomo and this unidentified 6th accuser, but authorities tell Fox no criminal complaint has been filed. Governor Cuomo is denying all of the claims against him and has repeatedly said he will not resign. In Brooklyn, New York, Brian Yanis, Fox News.
Fewer Americans signed up for unemployment benefits last week. According to the Labor Department, 712,000 people filed for weekly jobless claims. That was better than expected. Prince William breaking his silence over allegations made in Harry and Meghan's Oprah interview. Yes, this story is still going on. This coming as another member of the British press resigns. Fox News correspondent Ryan Chilcote has more.
Can you just let me know, is the royal family a racist family, sir?
No, we're very much not a racist family.
Prince William defending the royal family Thursday while visiting a London school with his wife Kate. He's the first royal to directly address Harry and Meghan's Oprah interview, where Meghan claimed a member of the family raised concerns over her child's potential skin tone. William addressed whether he's spoken to his brother since the bombshell allegations.
No, I haven't spoken yet, but I will do.
Queen Elizabeth II is expected to personally reach out to Harry and Meghan to discuss the fallout from their interview, which continues to make waves in the British press. The head of a major UK press organization is resigning after the group said it was not acceptable for the couple to claim racism in the media without evidence. Some critics felt the statement downplayed the issue. Earlier this week, broadcaster Piers Morgan left a UK morning show after casting doubt on Meghan's allegations of racism and bullying.
We live in a world where freedom of speech does have consequences.
Buckingham Palace addressed Meghan and Harry's allegations on Tuesday, saying the family would handle things privately. But some Commonwealth countries say the interview should be a starting point for conversations about racism.
We are not expecting such incidents of racism and bureaucracy to be happening, but I'd say it's unfortunate because we're looking up to these people.
More than 17 million people watched Sunday's interview. Another 11 million watched in the UK. In London, Ryan Chilcote, Fox News.
A bit later, what is being called a humanitarian crisis of epic proportion?
There's mounting frustration among Republicans about the growing number of migrants along the southern border. I'm Ray Bogan with what the House Minority Leader says he plans to do about it, coming up.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a wet day for us today. Also quite a bit cooler than what we've seen all week long with the showers and thunderstorms we had last night. Some severe weather across the region, mainly gusty winds and some small hail. But a lot of areas have picked up some decent amounts of rain. You can see our rain stats so far for us today. Just shy of an inch for the year, a little over 5 average. We're right about where we should be for this time of the year. Great shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. And we still have these random light showers across the region. The temperatures have been really fairly steady. We're mainly sitting into the upper 40s. I think we're going to hold steady. We may even rise a degree or two as we go through the overnight hours tonight. But we do have these kind of northeasterly winds, which have been pushing in all day long. They're going to kind of shift out of the east, a little bit out of the southeast for us during the daytime hours tomorrow. Currently outside, sitting at 48, east winds are light at about 3 miles per hour, and you can see the bands of showers and a few thunder showers that have been rolling through over the evening hours. Most of these have been confined along and south of Interstate 44. Now, none of these are strong, none of these are severe, but we are getting at least a few thunder showers out there. Now, where you see the yellows, that's showing us some moderate rain. So you can see across Ottawa County, just south of Miami, near Seneca, just south of Neosho, also just south of Carthage, and then heading east over toward Mount Vernon. But everybody else is mainly dry, but these are going to increase during the overnight hours for us tonight. See the showers starting to pick up in central and western parts of Texas. That's the next wave that's going to head toward us as this whole energy really works toward us over the next few days. Let's go through time for us tonight. Scattered showers, still fairly light over the next several hours into the early morning hours. And then late tonight by morning, these will start to increase in northeastern Oklahoma. And then a pretty big batch is going to push in throughout the morning hours. This will give us scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms. I don't think anything too strong or severe, but we are going to have some scattered thunderstorms. Through the afternoon, we continue to get periods of showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures, though, a little bit warmer than what we saw today. Starting at 50, 54 by noon, high temp of 56 degrees. Tomorrow night, periods of showers and thunderstorms again into Saturday morning. Then I think Saturday afternoon looks okay. We're going to have a lot of clouds, but we should dry out. But look at the storms increasing out to our west once again. So these are going to roll in after midnight on Saturday night into Sunday morning. Some of those could be strong, maybe low-grade severe, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. All right, rain picking up, especially late tonight, and periods throughout the daytime hours tomorrow. In fact, rainfall amounts just over the next day, a lot of areas are going to get 1, maybe up to 2 inches. And then if you add Saturday into that, a lot of areas 2, 3, maybe upwards to 4 inches of rain. So that's why we have a flash flood watch in effect throughout the weekend. 62s over the weekend, thunderstorms, some leftover showers on Monday, thunderstorms right back in by Wednesday. Jordan?
All right, Doug, thanks so much again. Wow, my IFB. Oh, blew my eardrums out. All right, coming up in sports, the East Newton Patriots aim to keep their historic season alive tomorrow night. Plus, Joplin's TJ Britton preparing for one of the biggest fights of his career. Jacob Leonard has the story after this break.
The Frontenac girls are back in the basketball state semifinals. The Raiders have a tough one today in the Final Four, facing the Cheney Cardinals. Now Cheney is a perfect 23-0 coming into the night. It's Frontenac, though, coming out hot. Sydney Frankenberry, corner 3 there. Heather Arnett, defense sleeping. Raiders up 7-14 today for Arnett. Now Cheney comes back in a big way. Kylie Shear, 3. Cards outscore the Raiders 20-4 in the second. Frontenac not out of it yet. Hattie Piles, 3. Cuts it to 8. Pyle, 10 points, 10 boards. Reagan Hipful along the baseline there. Just like that, 4-point game going to the fourth. That's as close as they get. Shear to the hoop. She had 23. Cheney holds off Frontenac tonight, 62-46. The Raiders share third place and finish 19-4 overall. The East Newton boys are enjoying a historic season, making the state quarterfinals for the first time in program history. Danny Terzer catches up with the Patriots as they aim to keep that season alive and make the Class 4 Final Four.
The East Newton boys are having a historic season.
It means a lot. I mean, we've always dreamed about this since coming in as small freshmen. That's always one thing we've wanted to have, is just to look back on us and just know that we've kind of made our mark on the school.
The legacy that they're going to leave, maybe the best team in East Newton history is pretty special, but they've earned that. They've deserved that, and their work up to this point has really put them, kind of in that seat.
Their next goal is to make the program's first ever trip to the Final Four.
It's been something to remember, but we don't want it to be done yet.
As the team's success builds, so does their confidence.
We feel great about it. We feel ready. We feel confident, and we're just excited to be out there and have the opportunity to play.
We've won tournaments, we've went on winning streaks, and I've had a lot of success in this building. They feel like they belong in the sectional game or a quarterfinal game or belong in the Final Four.
The team has had multiple leading scorers this season, and 3 players have hit 1,000 career points.
We have everybody that on any given night can drop 15, 20 points when needed, so it helps a lot to be able to share the ball like that.
They're willing to sacrifice every day. They're real unselfish, and that's what makes us special.
The Patriots are taking a no-pressure approach to just enjoy the ride. In Granby, Danny Terzer, KOAM Sports.
The Patriots will hit the floor against Blair Oaks in the quarterfinals tomorrow night at 6 p.m. College baseball now. Missouri Southern up to number 4 in the nation, playing a doubleheader against Missouri Western today. Game 1, Lions take it 8-6. Game 2, Southern offense rolls. They win that one as well, 13-1. This series wraps up tomorrow at 11 a.m. Well, Joplin MMA fighter TJ Britton is 9 days away from one of the biggest fights of his career. Britton will fight for a title, and he gets to do it on his home turf.
TJ Britton is about to step in the cage for one of the biggest fights in his MMA career.
Hey, you got to work now. You got to work. These opportunities don't come all the time, and so when an opportunity comes knocking like this, you jump on it, and it did, and we jumped on it.
Britton will fight at Cage of Honor 81 on the 20th with the featherweight title on the line.
Most fighters don't hold titles as a pro. This opportunity to be able to do that is on one of the longest running promotions in Missouri, in the 4-state area, honestly. It's truly a blessing. Same pace the whole round. Keep it out there. Keep that jab out there. Stay busy.
He gets this opportunity in his own backyard, fighting in Joplin.
My last few fights have been on national television, and you know people are watching, but you can't look into the camera and see them. It does give you a lot of energy. This will be my first fight that my kids are coming to watch me live, so that gets me a little excited.
Britton will square up with Sky Mosicek out of Florida.
Cameras ain't not gonna make him nervous. He comes in and he's ready to fight. He's gonna be there to fight 5 rounds. Hey, this gotta be your best round. Last round gotta be your best round. These are the type of fights I get excited about. You know, he has a lot of heart. I have a lot of heart, so it's gonna be a very interesting fight.
Win or lose, Britton says he's already put in the work, and this fight is the reward.
That's why a lot of times I'm smiling in the cage, because that's the fun part. That's the part that I've worked hard for to get me where I'm at, and I just I have fun. I want to be a light in this dark world, so I'll go in and have fun.
Right now, the fight card on the 20th has more than 15 fights, with fights starting at 6 p.m. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Republicans are sounding the alarm on the southern border, saying the surge of migrants is a crisis that's only growing. Fox News correspondent Ray Bogan has more on how the GOP is planning to address the matter with or without the Biden administration.
On Monday, I'm going to the border. I'm taking 12 members with me, looking for ourselves, working on trying to find a solution.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy says next week he'll lead a Republican delegation to the southern border. McCarthy says the group will assess the spike in migrants crossing into the U.S. and will help determine solutions for what can be done. His announcement comes as Republicans are expressing mounting frustration over President Biden's immigration policies, saying they're directly responsible for the growing surge.
It's a humanitarian crisis of epic proportion. The message is clear. The safety and security of the American people is not his top priority.
Wednesday, U.S. Customs and Border Protection revealed more than 100,000 migrants were apprehended in February, a 28% increase from the previous month.
We made a policy decision because we felt it was the humane approach, but the facts are the vast majority of people who come to our border are turned away.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was asked about the surge of unaccompanied minors at the border and numbers tripling in the last few weeks. Pelosi dismissed Republican concerns as political distraction, touting President Biden's immigration plan that she expects will need to pass as multiple bills to get through Congress.
It will be nothing like what we saw in the Trump administration of PBs being snatched from the arms of their parents.
There are nearly 9,000 unaccompanied minors under the care of the Office of Refugee Resettlement. Ray Bogan, Fox News.
Gonna check out a new version of America's Most Wanted when we come back. Bad guys beware. Elizabeth Fargas teaming up with Fox to bring back an iconic series that's going to help fight crime in a new way, pretty cool way too. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has this story.
America, we need your help. Fox brings one of the most iconic series back to TV. The crime-fighting unscripted series America's Most Wanted returns with high-tech upgrades and the same goal of asking the public's help to track down the world's most dangerous fugitives.
In the 10 years since the show went off the air, there's been, a revolution, both in social media and in crime-fighting technology. And we are able to combine both those.
Emmy-winning journalist Elizabeth Vargas will host the revamped show, breaking down cases and investigating criminals using technologically advanced tools.
Incredible, much more advanced age progression technology. We have 3D avatars, life-sized, figures that will be standing next to me that I can interact with, that will show, for example, distinctive tattoos or scars, even a distinctive walk or limp. All ways that will help our viewers better be able to see what they actually may look like today. Combined with the fact that we're working with not just the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, and the Secret Service, but we're also working in this iteration with Interpol.
And viewers will have the opportunity to help law enforcement by serving as armchair detectives.
What we can do on our phones today was unimaginable 10 years ago. So people can now take pictures and videos. They can instantly send them to us on all the social media platforms. We have an incredible capacity to even more quickly follow up on viewer tips and get those into the hands of law enforcement and possibly catch these people.
The new series premieres Monday, March 15th, only on Fox. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you tonight with video of red pandas at Brooklyn's Prospect Park Zoo. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.